Google Search Console for email campaign insights, unlocking hidden opportunities. Why Google Search Console belongs in email planning. Most B2B teams track email opens, clicks, replies, and meetings booked, but they miss the signal that comes before any of that. What prospects search for while they're self-educating. Google Search Console, GSC, shows the exact queries and pages that pull in real buyer attention, which makes it one of the most practical intent tools your email program already has access to. When 71% of B2B buyers start research on Google and 66% use search engines to evaluate purchases, ignoring search behavior means building campaigns without the market's language in front of you. Email is still the workhorse channel, which is why this matters so much. 44% of B2B marketers rank email as their #1 lead generation channel, and average email click-through rates often sit around 2 to 5%, so small relevance gains compound quickly. If we can use GSC to sharpen subject lines, offers, and landing page messaging, we're not just improving clicks, we're improving the quality of conversations your SDR agency or sales development agency can turn into pipeline. This is also where sales and marketing alignment stops being a meeting and becomes a workflow. GSC gives SDRs, AEs, and RevOps a shared view of what buyers are researching and which pages are actually attracting qualified traffic. For teams running cold email at scale, or partnering with a cold email agency or B2B sales agency, GSC is the simplest way to replace "we think prospects care about X" with "prospects are already searching for X." Search intent plus email ROI, the compounding advantage. GSC isn't an SEO thing, it's a buyer intent radar that email teams can use immediately. It tells you what people searched, which pages they saw in results, how often they clicked, CTR, and where you typically rank. If 85% of buyers trust organic results more than ads, then GSC data is often closer to true research behavior than what you'll see from paid clicks or form fill heavy campaigns. The business case is straightforward. Email tends to be one of the highest return channels, with reports commonly citing around $42 returned for every $1 spent. And it's not just perception. Another dataset shows 48% of marketers say email is their most effective lead generation tactic. When email is this efficient, using GSC to improve relevance is one of the highest leverage optimizations you can make without increasing send volume. There's also a competitive gap. Only about 49% of companies use Google Search Console, and only around 45% of marketers check it weekly, which means a lot of teams either don't have the tool or aren't operationalizing it. If your outbound sales agency, sales outsourcing partner, or in-house team builds a simple SEO x email loop, you can ship more relevant campaigns than competitors who rely on gut feel. A practical framework. Start with queries, not gut feel. The fastest win is to plan email themes from GSC queries instead of internal brainstorming. Export queries for your highest intent pages, product pages, industry pages, comparison pages, demo pages over the last 3 to 6 months, then cluster them by pain point, persona, and buying stage. This turns GSC into a copy research engine for subject lines, preview text, email hooks, and CTAs, using the exact phrases prospects already type when they're actively researching. To make this operational, we recommend turning GSC into a translation layer between search behavior and email execution. You're essentially mapping what Google users respond to into what inbox recipients respond to, while keeping landing pages consistent across channels. The table below shows a simple way to connect GSC metrics to the levers your team already controls. If you run Outbound across multiple channels, email, LinkedIn outreach services, and cold calling services, this framework also helps your messaging stay consistent. Your cold callers shouldn't pitch one value prop while your email says another and the landing page says a third. When we align these, SDRs sound more credible, reply quality improves, and attribution conversations get easier in pipeline reviews. Implementation: your SEO x email workflow in under an hour. You only need a few GSC actions to get value. Use the performance report, switch between queries and pages, and apply filters. Filter by a specific landing page you plan to promote, then review the queries that already bring traffic to that page. If the top queries don't match your email promise, fix the page before the send. Otherwise, you're paying for clicks that bounce and wasting the attention your outsourced sales team fought to earn. Next, instrument campaigns so you can connect the story end to end. Standardize UTMs, source, medium, campaign. Keep promoted URLs consistent, and make sure analytics is connected so RevOps can trace click behavior to form fills and opportunities. This is where many teams stall. They run a campaign, report on opens and clicks, and never connect query, page, email, pipeline, which makes it harder to justify budget or scale a pay-per-appointment lead generation motion. Finally, add a pre-post check as a default step for major pushes. Compare a window, often 14 days before versus 14 to 28 days after, for branded queries, campaign topic queries, and the pages you emailed. You'll often see a delayed, organic echo from people who didn't reply but later searched your brand or the problem, an impact that disappears if you only look at inbox metrics. Stop treating email and SEO like separate channels. Your buyers experience them as one research journey. Best practices: make SERP messaging and email messaging match. The cleanest performance gains come from consistency. If your title tag and meta description win clicks in Google, reuse that language in your email headline, first sentence, and CTA so the story stays aligned from SERP to inbox to landing page. This matters because the top organic result can capture roughly 39.8% CTR on a clean SERP. When your snippet is strong, you earn disproportionate attention, and email should reinforce that same promise. Treat high-impression, low CTR queries as a free testing lab. When Google shows your page often, but searchers don't click, it's telling you the hook is weak or misaligned with intent. Improve snippet copy, title, and description. Then borrow the best-performing variants as subject lines and preview text. You're effectively pre-testing messaging at market scale before you blast a list. Align offers to buying stage, not internal preference. How-to queries typically want checklists, templates, or playbooks, while comparison queries want proof, outcomes, and clear differentiation. When we run outbound programs at SalesHive, we aim for this alignment because it reduces friction. The email earns the click, and the landing page answers the exact question the buyer is already asking. Common mistakes and how to fix them without more headcount. The most common failure is organizational, not technical. Teams treat GSC as marketing only and keep sales in the dark. The fix is simple. Give sales leaders read access, run a 30-minute walkthrough of the performance report, and make GSC screenshots part of campaign planning and QBRs. If you're working with a sales rep agency, an outbound sales agency, or doing sales outsourcing, shared visibility prevents mismatched talking points across email and calls. Another mistake is measuring email only inside the inbox. Prospects often read a message, do nothing, and later Google your brand, your category, or the specific pain you described. If you never check GSC, you'll undercount demand and underinvest in what's working. A lightweight pre-post comparison for brand terms and promoted URLs gives RevOps a defensible narrative beyond opens and clicks. Finally, Teams send traffic to pages that don't match search intent and then wonder why conversion is weak. Before you scale a sequence, audit the top queries for that landing page, update the hero and CTA to reflect those intents, and prioritize fixing high impressions plus low CTR pages so you stop wasting visibility. If you also standardize UTMs and connect analytics to CRM, you can start mapping which query themes and campaign angles correlate with higher opportunity rates. Advanced plays, ABM segments, topic cadences, and multi-channel reinforcement. Once the basics are running, use GSC to power account-based messaging. Filter performance by directories or industry pages. For example, /healthcare or /manufacturing to spot query patterns tied to each segment, then bake that language into cold email icebreakers and talk tracks. Done right, your SDRs sound like they get the prospect's world without pretending you know their personal search history, because you're using aggregated intent from the market. Turn strong SEO pages into outbound sequences that convert. If a page earns clicks and impressions but doesn't convert well, it's a prime candidate for a campaign-ready refresh. Tighten the headline, clarify the CTA, add proof, and align the offer to the dominant queries. Then build a cadence that references the same pain point across email and follow-ups, and reinforce it with B2B cold calling services or a cold calling team where it makes sense. Use GSC insights to coordinate timing across channels. After a big email push, monitor whether branded queries and key topic pages get a lift. Then schedule call blocks and retargeting around that window when attention is hottest. This approach works especially well for teams using cold calling companies or a cold calling agency, because it gives callers a timely reason to reach out that matches what the buyer is actively researching. What to do next? A simple operating rhythm that compounds. If you're resource constrained, keep it minimal and repeatable. Start by exporting the top queries and pages from the last 90 days. Cluster them into 5 to 7 themes and map each theme to one email angle and one supporting asset on your own domain. This alone can improve relevance because you're using the market's wording, not internal jargon, and it gives your team a prioritized backlog for landing page updates. Then lock in cadence, a quick weekly check for surprises, big changes in impressions, CTR, or top queries, and a deeper monthly review to choose what you'll test next. Even though only about 45% of marketers check GSC weekly, doing so consistently is how you catch shifts early and build a compound advantage. Over time, this creates a flywheel where improved snippets lift organic clicks, better landing pages lift conversions, and sharper emails lift replies without increasing list size. AI summaries and zero-click behavior will keep evolving, but GSC still shows what Google is exposing your brand to through impressions and what's earning clicks. In many cases, fewer clicks means the clicks you do get are more qualified, so the handoff from search to email follow-up becomes even more important. At SalesHive, we use this SEO x outbound approach to help clients book meetings more efficiently, whether they hire SDRs in-house or lean on an outsourced B2B sales motion. Because the goal isn't more dashboards, it's more qualified conversations.